Hi everybody, it's week 3. It's time for some tips and tools. And Mel and I were discussing that a lot of these tips and tools we've actually already gone over in the last few weeks, but we've made them nice and concise now in a list form so that you can just tap in and use these tools whenever you need it.
Somewhere to go back to just look at them all in one place.
Exactly. Actually a little bit organized, which for me is something. Okay, so here we go. Jumping in with energy exchange, which is our theme this month. Our first tool is to play with energy. Have fun with it. It is there. It is always around us. So why not have a bit of fun with it? There is a lot of things that you can try that will help develop your practice of being aware of energy. Everything from, like we were talking about the water and the rice, you can try that experiment. There's lots of different ones that you'll hear about where your words matter and the energy you're putting towards an object, and see how it grows. You were doing that actually with your tree, weren't you, in the backyard? The one that's not doing so well.
Yeah. Talking to it and nurturing, giving a little extra attention. I was talking to them all because they went in when we had like a 3-week drought. So it was a dicey time to be planting them anyway, but one is looking sadder than the other. So I'm paying a bit of special attention.
Yeah,
to
that one's getting a little extra love, right?
Yeah.
So, play around, whether it's, inanimate objects or trees and nature. We have one of our current members, I know, did an experiment with a raw potato. And it was a lot of group focused energy and putting a plastic straw right through that potato.
Crazy.
Yeah. And I think she told me as well, like at first it wasn't happening and it stopped. But then she realized, wait a minute, if that person can do it, so can I. We are so powerful. We have that power within us to make things happen. And if someone else can do it, then we absolutely have it within our power to do it as well. And she tried again, and it went right through the potato. So amazing.
Yeah. And something just to wrap your heads around that kind of concept, because that's, I think, going far to one end of the energy and playing with energies, is, when you were a kid and you had a balloon and you rubbed it on your shirt and you stuck it on someone.
Yeah, I love that.
That's static energy, right? That's still energy. Those are still molecules playing with each other so that you get the positive and negative, and it's able to sit on you.
Yeah, and you could do that with your hands too, right? You can rub your hands together and just feel the energy. I mean, once you do it, you rub them for, 15, 20 seconds and really get it going, and then feel the energy between the two. If you're gifted, some people can actually see the energy as well. I have a mentor that
with practice perhaps as well.
Yeah, exactly. Again, a lot of you can develop these skills, right, with practice. And I know somebody who has mentored me in a few things, and when he does it, I can actually see the energy online. So like it's almost like a film of light coming from around his hands, and it's really interesting. So playing with how far the energy is, you can feel where the tension sort of stops, right? Your aura, how far are you sending it out today, or are you holding it back? And some people can see auras, right, in the different colors, so the energy is there. But play around with it, have fun. There's the energy exercise as well, where you try to bend a spoon. Uri Geller is famous for this, a psychic and illusionist gentleman, and he has bent so many spoons. I've tried it in a group before. I know it can be done, and it's all a matter of putting that focused energy on something and having that spoon bend. It was really, really cool. So
and then there's the radio, right? So listening to a song on the radio, how does that make you feel? Then change the station. What words are in that next song, and what's the frequency? What's the
frequency, Kenneth? So it's true. Like music has the vibration and the frequency, right? So we're feeling the music. We're feeling that vibration. It's either making us feel good or sad, so you can make it, choose it, something that's going to work for you. But you had a good point too, because it's also the lyrics, right? And what's the messaging being sent to us? So play around with your messaging that day, and what's that energy being sent to you, and what are you receiving? And so there's lots of fun, simple ways to play with energy.
And that makes me think of tip number 2, which is, if something is making you feel a certain way and you don't want to feel that way, work with that, right? Change it. Change whatever the energy is that you're in. It can be changed. So
We are so powerful.
Absolutely.
We're lucky. I mean, humans, we're evolved. If we don't like a situation, we can change it. We have the power to walk away or change the energy on the spot, right?
Like we talked about the clapping
Yep.
for physical change, like right in front of you. There's always just breathing, some intense breathing can do.
I had to do that the other day when I was just, right, I had to stop and do a breathing exercise to really,
shaking. You were just naturally about to be shaking.
Shaking is a great way to change the physical energy in the body. It also it changes everything around you, right? It's all the vibration around you.
And that brings you to general movement. So just do some running on the spot, or even screaming. Get a pillow if it can't be loud. Screaming into a pillow can be so releasing, right? So any of those things can just change the energy within you.
And another great way as well is through coaching, right? Coach work, whether it's group coaching or one-on-one coaching, or having a friend to talk to, having somebody to just release what you're feeling, right? And getting that out, and then maybe you're going to see things a different way. Maybe they're going to prompt a question, so that you'll reframe it and see the situation different and change it. Because again, we have the power to either sit in something, and if we don't like it, we're just going to be stuck there, right? Or we can actually pick ourselves up, or have someone help pick us up, right, in a group, and change it and make it work for us. So that was a great tip number 2, right?
Yep.
If it doesn't work, change it.
That's right.
All right, number 3, energy is an exchange. So always remember that. What you're giving and what you're getting. Are you giving more than you are receiving? Is it the other way? Always, you're looking for an equal exchange, but equal doesn't always mean, this person's giving this and this person's giving it. It could be in a different form. And we talked about this even through work, right? So you're doing the work for your company, and how are you getting, you're getting paid like with a financial gain. You might be getting, feeling really good about your self-esteem. Maybe you're, getting, more popularity, or they're revering your work and respected. So there's different ways that we can give and receive energy, but you want to make sure that you know your worth, and that you are receiving the value in which that you deserve, right?
And that goes for all relationships, whether they're work or with your child, with your parents, with your spouse, with your friends, right? I'm sure you have examples in your head where you go, oh yeah, that person always seems to be taking, or always, and that's hard. That's a hard friendship or situation to maintain. So.
Yeah. So know the dynamic, right? See if you can change it. Hopefully you can. Compromise is always needed. But if not, then get out of it, if at all possible, because you just don't want to be in that energy, right? Life is short. So choose who you are going to be around and what situations you are going to surround yourself with, right? And know your worth. That is really important.
That brings us to tip number 4, which is finding a simple energy practice that you really resonate with and share it with the universe, right?
Yeah.
That might be meditation, gratitude.
Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono is a great way to do that without even necessarily letting people know that you're doing it, right?
Exactly. And I know I talked about it a little bit in one of the other weeks, but I said I would explain a little more. So just very simply, Ho'oponopono is a Hawaiian practice of clearing, and they also call it cleaning. So I actually took a whole self-practitioner course to study it and learn more about, the history of it and how it works and why it works. But you don't even need to do all of that. You can just literally focus. There's 4 phrases, although now they're saying there's a 5th. But there's the simple phrases of I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. They can be said in any which way or form.
About any circumstances.
Yeah, and a great example they used. So obviously in relationships, right? Like you're not getting what you want, or there's tension or whatever. Just say it in your head, and you're basically trying to clear the energy between you and that person. And the nice thing is the example was they do it for inanimate objects. And I think of like a highway or a road that is always having accidents or always busy and traffic jammed, and you dread that road.
Bad juju.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh, I have to take that road or whatever. You know what? You can you feel like, I almost feel bad, even though you think it's inanimate object, it's a pavement, right? But everything has energy, and that energy may need to be cleared in order for it to start flowing better, right? And then maybe the traffic's going to flow better. Maybe there's going to be less accidents. So I was, in that area, or if I'm in a traffic jam, I'm saying these 4 sentences over and over to help clear this bad energy, right? So,
and it just changes the way you are feeling about that stretch of.
Yeah. It is. It's very, in some ways, it's a selfish practice, in that it really makes you feel good, which there's nothing wrong with, right? And it's just helps clear the connection and the relationship. Yeah. And there's a lot more to it. I recommend you look it up. Part of the practice is that we're not allowed to teach other people really how to do it, or even recommend that you do it. So it's just something we can sort of open your eyes to, and you can dig in more.
Yeah, and just try and make that sort of part of your day again. Once you start doing it, it'll find its way in.
Yeah, I find all these places to say those 4 sentences all the time. Like I said, in traffic, in a shower, before bed, when I wake up. So anything, like Mel said, meditation, breath work, any kind of practice that you can find that helps really connect your energy with, the universe or God or a higher source or whatever you practice. Try to get into a daily practice. Which is number 5. Remember that all things are energy. So we just kind of talk about that. Every object that you pick up, it's energy, right? Everything around us is energy. It's just all around us, and we need to be a little bit more aware of that, and especially if we're trying to create and manifest more, right?
Yeah. So then there's different energies depending on if something's man-made with plastics, it's going to have a very different energy than if something is made out of wood or some natural fibers too.
Yeah. So you can get the natural energy coming from these, natural sources, but man-made objects, just remember, it's still made up of, atoms and energy and all that stuff. But let's think a little deeper. Who made that? What energy did they put into that object, right? Were they having a good day when they made it and it's made with love? Or, were they under poor working conditions and, it's not got the best energy? So with that, I say, if you have something like that, I don't know if you've ever had it where you feel like an area of your house is, like you said, bad juju, or there's something and it just, I don't know, that object's always kind of stuck or bringing you down. Either get rid of it or clear it. You have the power with crystals. We've talked about, putting it in the sunlight, natural, clearing, or the moonlight will help clear things as well. But you can do that practice to clear.
Notice it first. Then if you think that it's not the right energy, then you can do something to change that, right?
Yeah. Just a quick example. I just thought of this, but let's say your kid's going on a bike and they're always falling and they hate this bike, and it's just, there's nothing actually wrong with the bike, right? But the energy around the bike. So go and clear it, smudge it, put it in the moonlight, bless it.
Sunlight,
Put it in the sunlight, talk gratitude to it, and thank it for everything that it does give you, and it's going to give you more of that. So it's really knowing that everything has an energy connection and is made of energy.
Exactly. Brings us to number 6.
7, I think, Mel. Oh, wait. No, you're right.
Working with energy of nature.
Yeah.
So my favorite thing, be out in the garden, put your feet in the ground, do some grounding, earthing, sharing electrons with the earth. That's what those pets give us, right? That's why one of the reasons we love to bond with our pets on our laps or whatever, because we're exchanging those electrons that they get naturally when they go outside.
Hug a tree.
Plant a plant, get your hands in the earth. It's so energizing and so vital for our health and wellness, honestly.
Beaches as well, right? The sand, all of the minerals that you can absorb through walking barefoot in the sand. Pick up seashells, pick up rocks, look for fossils. I love crystals, as
another one,
the beautiful energy, but it doesn't even have to be a big fancy crystal. It can just be, a rock that you found on the beach. I always think, where did this rock come from? Did he travel across the sea and, or the lake? Where has this been? Who's touched this? Where, what's your story? Nature has so much to offer us and lots of lessons within that. I actually just did a motivation message about listening to the waves, right? And listening for messages. So if you stop with nature and listen, I find that they whisper messages to you.
So calming and grounding as well.
It is, right? Like you hug a tree, tell it you love it, and feel the energy. It's a beautiful energy exchange between you and something, you know, like that's a gift from God that's here for us, right? So
and the what it gives us, right? Like if you think about the forest, etc., all of the absorption of CO2 and the oxygen that they give us, like there is such a a synergy with all of us living together, and just being grateful for that. As well.
Trees give oxygen, crystals healing, right? Beauty, they give us beauty and everything, right? So and
animals as well, right? Like just nature in general.
All right, number 7, morning intention of how your day will flow energetically. So we've talked about this before, setting your day up for success. So in the morning, even before you get out of bed, or maybe you do it in the shower, pick a time that you're going to remember to do it, you know, continuously or on a daily basis, and just visualize how your day is going to flow energetically. So, okay, I'm going into the office. If that's usually something that you're like dreading, set yourself up. Oh, today's going to be different. I'm going to walk in. Everyone's going to be like feeling my vibe. We're going to be, you know, I'm going to get through that meeting. Everyone's going to love what I have to say. So see yourself living the, you know, highest vibe of the day and how you would love it to turn out, right? The high expectations.
Yeah. And when you might need sort of that supercharge of energy to get through a part of the day that's a little bit more challenging.
Yes.
You know, that's when you really can draw on changing that energy, right?
Yeah, and if you've already sort of set it up in the morning, right, for that morning intention of how the day is going to go, and it might not only be for yourself, it might be for someone that you care about, you know that they're going to have a tough day, or your mom isn't feeling well, or you have that dreaded meeting with your boss, you know, send them energy, put the energy into the intention of that relationship and send it, because
nurture it.
You're already setting yourself up for a positive result, right? And the universe will feel that you are manifesting it and you are attracting it to you. So law of attraction that way as well.
It's all physics, really. So number 8 is our energy for healing. Now again, healing, like our bodies in general, are incredible machines. There's so much involved in everything that takes place all day long, but it has such a capacity to heal. It's mind-boggling, honestly. So healing itself,
it's going to happen naturally, right? Because our body has, like you said, science-wise, it just has this wonderful thing that it just heals itself. Amazing. But we can also help induce healing. So healing as an energy art, or, you know, as a healing arts. Again, laying of the hands, a lot of energy healing you don't even actually touch, right? Like Reiki, you're holding your hands above. I do angelic Reiki, which we focus on the crown chakra. So you're sending the energy through the hands, right?
And you can cover your eyes with that and really feel the darkness and the warmth and energy of your hands.
So my tip on that is anyone can do it. We're all natural healers. Some practice more than others. So like anything, you get stronger at it when you practice. But it's the intention behind it, right? So you are sending love and light and healing. Let's say you have a bad, you know, shoulder. You're going to, you know, do your warm up, focus in. Channel in the love and the healing from where you want it, whether it's the angels or God or the universe or the, you know, the trees, wherever you want to channel this beautiful energy from, and focus, visualize it, see it coming in. Maybe put a color, a beautiful green for the heart chakra, healing. You could do pink, often comes in the form of healing, right? The
white as well.
The red and the white light, combined. So whatever you want to bring in, and focus the intention on healing, right? You want to send that healing to that specific area or that person.
Right. And I've done that to my dog, actually, with her eye. Same thing, just really, cupping. Just really feeling the energy and trying to send it on to the other person. Connecting to source, connecting to the universe and a higher power.
Yeah, and that can go with distant healing as well. So you don't have to physically be with them. You can send it across the universe, you know, across the miles to someone in another country. It's all about intention. And we've already talked about how energy travels and works mysteriously on that, you know, special level. So, you know, just send it. They don't even have to know that you're sending it. And the more people collectively that send it at the same time, it can be very, very powerful. Yeah. And it doesn't only have to be physical healing. It can be emotional or mental healing as well. So if you have a broken heart or something's heavy on your heart, or somebody who's just experienced loss, or, you know, something like that, you can definitely send healing as well. So energy for healing is an amazing thing. Leading into energy for protection, that's tool number 9. And we can use energy all around us. Like we talked about our aura, we have this sort of energy field constantly around us. So you can intentionally put a bubble of protection. We've said this lots of times, around yourself. You're going over to the in-laws, let's say, and it's like, oh, there's tension there, but you got to show up. Okay, bubble of protection today, and you focus and put the intention on, so that everything's going to bounce off you. It's not going to affect your energy, right? So you stay protected. You can put it on yourself. You can put it over your home. You can put it over, you know, a situation or a group of people or a country that needs, you know, protecting or healing. There's so many different ways that you can do it.
Yep. And again, light is one way. Like, again, when you're talking about that bubble, it can have a healing, powerful light behind it. You can have
you can visualize crystal. So some people visualize a bubble of light. Some people sit in like a crystal egg or a crystal cave,
which is just cool in general.
So whatever you want to visualize as your form of protection, in the highest intention and highest energy, is yours to kind of wrap around yourself, and it really does help. I find, like, deflect any sort of negative energy that comes at you that day.
Even if you think it's woo-woo, just give it a try. I mean, you might really think, oh, you know, I felt a little bit stronger about some of the things they were saying that were negative at me today. Which might not have happened in another life. So,
and just to know, if that bubble breaks or something happens and it has kind of, you know, infiltrated your space, and you're like, you don't feel as protected, you can get rid of that negative energy as well. There's a few different ways, but you can, you know, cup that energy and literally throw it up in the air. You can also visualize it going into a bubble or a, you know, some kind of, like a beautiful warm ball of light. Put it all in and literally physically release it up to the universe, and then watch it, like, just watch that, visualize it traveling up into the stratosphere and, you know, exploding, and it's gone. And send it with love and light, right? Again, high intentions, but
thank you, thank you.
Keep it away, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, number 10 in our tools and tips. Think of every action, every thought as energy, and maximize your return. Okay, so what you put in, again, what you're putting in has to be in a positive light as well, because that's what we're going to get back. We can't think of having a really negative day towards other people and think everything should be positive. So it goes in reverse as well. And
you can put a scale to it. Like, when I'm putting in like 100%, so I want to get 100%. And again, I think I only got 50 back today. Okay, so if that person's not giving you the what you need, how are you going to get the other 50? Are you going to fill your own cup? That works sometimes, right? You can do that. Or are you going to you know, ask them to give you more? Are you going to change the relationship so that you find somebody who can give you more? There's lots of ways, but you really need to, I mean, one day's fine, right? Like, but if it's a constant depletion, you're going to really need to start sorting out those numbers.
So what you focus on becomes your reality, right? So again, being as positive as we can be, even when it's tough, will only benefit us more. So number 11.
Finally, be gentle with yourself, right? Because, I mean, we're all humans we're spirits having a human experience, if you will, and, you know, we don't get it right all the time.
Give yourself grace, as you would your friend if they were having a tough day or a tough time.
So, you know, you do your best, but you have to be able to shake it off. We can't always be our best selves. We think we're going in with a high vibe, and then something triggers us or affects us, and then we get down on ourselves because, you know what, I wasn't in that high vibe and I worked on it, and in the moment it just didn't happen. you know, we are perfectly imperfect.
100%.
And that is every person. There's no exception to that. You know, you're not less perfect than the other person, right? We all have our moments, our highs and our lows. It's just really knowing when to, you know, focus on improvement. And then sometimes it's a matter of accepting that that happened and moving on. But we feed ourselves energy as well, right? It's not, so that exchange comes to ourselves as well. And if you're not kind to yourself, if you don't give yourself grace, then who will, really? You're not asking anybody else to if you can't do it for yourself.
So allow yourself the ebbs and flows of this human experience, because we all have those good and bad days. So it's okay. It's okay. It's part of being human.
So treat yourself as lovingly and as kind as you would to anybody else, and really focus on what energy exchange are you giving to yourself today. Are you loving on yourself? Are you putting in your body the things that your body's going to appreciate? And you went off, you know, and did something you probably shouldn't have. You know what? Your body still loves you, right? Like, you have to really just allow yourself those little flaws and mistakes
Steps
and
backwards.
oopsies and step backwards and but just love on yourself, right?
That's right.
Like, if you
go
don't,
forward.
You can't expect it from anybody else,
right?
Because you're
and
putting out
that doesn't mean we're not trying to make ourselves better or make good changes in the big picture, right? But the little micro changes, or the micro things that happen every day, the micro back steps that happen, that's okay. Again,
but if you're really hard on yourself,
you're
you're basically setting up the boundary for other people to be hard on yourself, right?
That's
You're saying,
true.
you know what? You're saying it's, you know what? It's okay to treat me like this, and it's not, right? So you have to treat yourself as you want others to treat you, because they're going to feel that energy exchange, and that's what you're going to receive. So you're putting it out for other people, and then you're receiving it for yourself.
Hope that helps.
Yeah.
Give these a try.
Those are our top 11, and they're in the PDF file as well for you to follow along. And I guess we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.